Hey y'all, and welcome to Geek Freaks. I am Frank, and I'm with Daniel.
Hola.
And Jonathan.
Hey y'all.
And today we're going to be covering over a lot of unfortunately the coronavirus stuff.
Yeah.
It's canceled a lot of events and moved back some scheduling for like movie reviews and stuff like that. You know, everything got moved back. So we were going to anyways, we'll get into all that. Let's first break down the E3 thing. So we had put out a big Twitter post and Instagram and whatnot, so everybody got to see that. If you're not aware, we had an announcement planned for today. That announcement was that we were going to be media down at E3. ESA invited us down, which is great. Unfortunately, and it's totally a good idea, but they canceled E3 2020, right? That's the best move.
Yeah, it is.
The governor, Newsom, our governor, basically says nobody over 250 people in a crowd. You know, that's a good move. It's unfortunate, but so we won't be going to this E3. We will be working with ESA in the future. We've already discussed that with them back and forth. And we'll be going to future events. I can't really say yet the events we're going to go to, but I'm pretty excited about them. It'll be pretty neat. What the deal was, this is the part we didn't talk about, is we were going to be running ads for them in April. And it's kind of a partnership. It's what they call it. They call it a media partnership. Mm-hmm. We're going to be running ads for them starting in April, basically building up the hype for E3, telling, stuff like that. And we were all hyped for it anyway, so that was pretty easy to do. And then we were going to be going down to E3, covering it as press, getting all that cool advantage of seeing behind the scenes stuff. The idea was that we were going to do multiple podcast episodes per day and YouTube videos and articles. And then on their end too, we were going to write an article about the gamer badge, which is their kind of like for the public badge. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We were going to write an article about that. Anyways, it was a really good experience for us because we hadn't had the opportunity to do the media pass level thing before with somebody. And E3's always been pretty high on our wish list. So that was pretty cool to kind of practice that. Now we know what to do. And we've built a really good relationship with them. And again, we look forward to working with them in the future. So that'd be pretty cool. Now, moving forward, we're still going to have some celebrations in June. Because just because E3 is not going on doesn't mean we can't be having fun. So thank you to all of our podcast pals. They came out and were like, hey, I want to do crossover during that month. So I already have a list going of like different podcasts that want to join us and do crossovers. And I'm currently predicting 3 episodes of the podcast a week, possibly more, maybe 4. We're going to do some of the things that we had planned. So we had a meeting after we signed contracts with ESA. And we talked about we want to do things where we talk about developers, like do developer deep dives in the build up and stuff like that. All that can still happen. So we'll probably do that. Any other things you guys want to do in June that you're excited about that will make this big gaming event?
No, just getting the hot, fresh news from the developers and releasing it all as much as we can.
The developers will be releasing their own live streams and stuff like that to compensate for E3. And again, I'll talk to. We had a couple game companies reach out to us that wanted to do interviews. Mm-hmm. We'll go ahead and get connected with them and have those set up for June.
It'd be great if we can get any of the demos of the new beta games or something like that and test them.
Yeah. That's a good idea. I'll get a hold of them.
Try the indie games.
Yeah. I love indie games. They usually give you like the full game. It's not just like the first level. They're like, here's a whole game. You really kind of dig into it. So it's pretty cool.
Do reviews on that. Like hopefully new keyboards coming out. We get to talk about that.
That's one. Yeah. So one of the things we're really excited about sharing that you don't see like the big companies do is talking about like, first of all, the people who are straight up attending the show. You don't get to hear about them and what it's like to be on the show. So when I was talking to ESA, that was one of our big pitches is like, look, we're going to interview random people walking around. Yeah. We were going to get the new cameras for it and everything like that. And then the other thing we're going to do is actually show the hardware because like when you go to BlizzCon, for example, people don't know this, but Razer Naga is there, or Razer's there, Corsair is there, but you never hear about that because it's all about the big game announcements, which is cool. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. But it's also neat to see what's coming up for a new mouse, because you and me especially, man. Yeah. When there's a mouse that when we're making that switch.
Yeah, to a Mac MMO games, God. You need those 12 buttons. You need those 12 buttons.
I take more care into buying a new mouse than I do a new car. Yeah. It has to be just right, or else. And we both return mouses because they don't feel right. So that kind of thing. We wanted to share everything. We might do that. We might actually do some demos of new mouses and whatnot. So that'd be pretty cool. But yeah, so June's gonna be pretty big for us. We're still gonna do a big gaming event. We're working on a name. I want to actually make it a name. I've been working on some ideas here. We'll see what's going on. Also moved, not canceled, but moved, is the Sacramento Comic-Con. We were going to go and do 2 live recordings March 22nd. That's getting moved to June 7th. No news if the regular people are going to be there that we had planned on being there. Dante Brasco's the main one that we wanted to meet, but we don't know if he's going to be there on June 7th. We're hoping he is because he's amazing. Yeah. Any thoughts on E3?
I'm a little depressed.
Well, that day for
honestly,
sure.
Yeah, I was a little.
I mean, it's great
upset.
to not spread this virus.
That's the best
That's
case,
the whole reason they're doing it. But it's like, come on, you got to shut down. Like, let's just play it by ear. Let's see how we're doing when it gets closer. Screen everybody as they come in, bathe everybody in hand sanitizer, whatever it takes.
Honestly, I was more excited to have all this information for everybody.
I was so excited.
All the categories we're going to have, indie games, technology, everything.
Yeah.
Systems.
So I hear like some sports events they're canceling.
Yeah.
But they're continuing the event, but they're not allowing a crowd to come. We're gonna have
some events.
like,
NBA straight up cancels everything.
Yeah.
Some,
UFC's doing that, right?
Wrestling. I actually watched an episode of wrestling with no fans.
I gotta see that.
Man, it is so like it's boring. Like I'm just like, not the same.
Well, I'm a big Late Show fan, so I like Colbert and I like Seth Meyers, stuff like that. And they're all doing without an audience. And you forget how important an audience is. Yeah. And so all of a sudden there's nobody laughing at the jokes. And then like, oh shit, that's bad. that sounds terrible. Yeah. So they're getting creative with it. The best one is Samantha Bee. She actually, her monologue, the writers added jokes that she didn't know about. So she's laughing at the jokes. Yeah. So that actually worked out pretty well. But they're all getting creative. And then like for Colbert, he recorded the practice run. And then he's like, fuck it, let's just post that. So then they ended up posting I
wish there was a way, if we had a lot more heads up on this, they could have planned for it this way or something like that. It being a surprise, it's, a virus that can't plan for it.
Yeah.
But they could have planned ahead of time at E3 where there was no attendees. It's all the developers and producers and all that stuff and press.
Yeah.
And then it's getting leaked to or it's getting, distributed or whatever, broadcast to everybody through.
There's a possibility that may happen next year. That they might go back to that way because it used to be that way back in the day. It was industry only. It's possible that they might go back to that next year. There's all kinds of possibilities for next year. We won't dig into that now.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of predictions for the future. But yeah, so it is what it is.
It's a bummer.
It's a bummer, but we're gonna make it awesome.
Yeah,
we're still gonna make it really cool
this year and for next year.
Yeah. And so stick with us, guys. We'll put together kind of a name and a package of what that month is gonna be like. And we're just going to have a shit ton of fun, man. It's going to be a blast.
Everybody has nowhere else to go, so they might as well stay home and try to get all the news we are able to bring them at least.
It's so funny. Like, you guys don't even know how much time, I'm talking to listeners, you guys know, how much time I put into this podcast every single day with the research and stuff like that, right? And every spare moment I had was then going into E3. And so... And, when I'm not doing that, I have classes. So now my university or my college is canceled indefinitely or postponed indefinitely, and E3's postponed. And so then we're banked up on a couple episodes here on the podcast. So I'm kind of like, well, shit, now I got nothing to do. I need World of Warcraft for something big, I need a big game to get into, something cool. It's kind of nice. And I have to stay home. Yeah. Okay, so some other people changing their plans due to E3. We found out that WB was going to show up for the first time ever at E3. I love Warner Brothers games. Nobody talks about how good they are. They made the Shadow of Mordor games. They made the Arkham Asylum games, Really good company. Anyways, so they had a new Batman game coming and a new Harry Potter game coming that they were supposed to reveal. We'll get more details later on. I'm sure they'll do some sort of live event. So for the new Batman game, it was not going to be a new Arkham game. It's going to be a whole new franchise that they're starting up. Let's start with that. What kind of Batman game would you guys want to see? Have you guys played the Arkham games at all? I think you have.
Yeah, I played the first and second one.
Yeah.
Well, they did do an open world Batman. I know the last one was more open world.
Yeah.
Kind of wish this new one would have been like a Batman Beyond. But completely open world, like Spider-Man, that you are going around trying to save people, just helping people.
That Spider-Man game is a great example of how they could do superhero games correctly. That's a good idea.
I think what would be cool in that too is to have like a talent tree because the Batmans of generations are a little bit different. So you can kind of, if you like, to be able to jump rooftops, you can specialize that and focus on that. If you want super cool gadgets, then you'd be that one, and that will change how your challenges, how your missions go. Because now, I need to break into this prison, but I can't jump over the wall, so I need to blow up a wall or dig under a tunnel or something like that.
That opens up an idea of what about a multiverse Batman game where you could play as all the different Batmans throughout the universe. So you can play as animated Batman or as, Christian Bale Batman.
Yeah,
that'd be kind of a fun, because there's, it's almost like an inside joke. There's so many different Batmans. They're pretty cool. For the Harry Potter game, there are rumors that it is going to be an RPG game. I think that's fantastic. Harry Potter has a ton of lore. What do you think about a Harry Potter RPG game?
I think there will be a ton of fans like Squeaks that are just going to nut over that.
Oh my God, he's going to go freaking crazy.
Yeah, you won't be able to get him off the computer.
I'll definitely buy it, but yeah, he's going to be like, he'll be the nerd that's like, excuse me. Well, let me tell you how that's supposed to be.
Playing in costume.
Yeah, he will.
Honestly, like I've been wanting to play like a Harry Potter game, just like because of all the magic and stuff like that. Plus watching the movies.
Yeah.
So it would be cool if they made an actual, not kid Harry Potter game, more for like adults. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Not for adults, but like teenagers.
Something that takes it serious. Takes itself seriously.
One thing I think if they do make a serious game though is they have to have a really good story to it. They can't just shoehorn it in or make it copy the books that they've already have the writers who wrote the books, if they're still alive. I don't remember who it is.
J.K. Rowling, and yes.
Yeah. Continue to write the story for the video games.
That'd be really cool. I know. The fact that he doesn't know it's J.K. Rowling, I know. Who makes Star Trek? Daniel?
I don't watch that.
Shut the hell. Gene Roddenberry.
There you go.
Oh my God. I was trying to back him out. Okay, but yeah, so I would like, that's a good idea. Something a little more seriously and something that's not like in the Harry Potter movies or in story.
Yeah, but still continue with that,
And we don't need to go all the way back to really Fantastical Beasts. Like, do like his parents' storyline. Like, that'd be pretty interesting or something like that.
Or Dumbledore, where he came from.
Well, we're kind of getting that one already, but something like that. All right, Xbox announced that they're going to be doing a live stream to reveal everything that they had planned for the E3 event as well. No dates for this, but Phil Spencer, the boss over at Xbox, will be tweeting it out. He's been very good about communicating after this post E3 thing. Devolver Studios, they're going to be doing something called Devolver Direct, where they'll be doing their stream press conference live and possibly more. So maybe releasing the demos, because that's another thing too, is these companies bring demos to E3. We know when we go to these things, that's part of the fun. Is like, oh man, let's go get our hands on first time for this thing.
Yeah.
So possibly I could see something like that happening where they do that. Ubisoft has been a little bit vaguer about everything. They said they're going to do a digital event to share news and plans. But it's they haven't done that before. So they're kind of new on this. And they've announced earlier last year that they're going to be changing how they make their games. Like, for example, if you play an Assassin's Creed or a Far Cry or anything like that, you guys know it's the same gameplay every time, where you go to it's an open world map, you go to a section, you climb a big tall tower, you discover a new zone, then you do the little side missions and main mission in that zone, right? That's how all Ubisoft games work. They're changing that plan up. What do you guys see Ubisoft can do to like really kind of celebrate their games coming up?
Yeah, I was just say, I don't understand why they don't just like E3 is like, all right, we'll do this live stream, but you guys have cameras at your building. You have your own presentation that you could put out
to pitch into E3.
Yeah, and then they'll link the videos, and then we'll have an E3.
But for these guys, for the individual developers, it's probably better to not be a part of E3 anymore. And you know what? I'm going to take mine, I'm going to reveal it myself, and I want all the attention on us instead of being one of many.
Yeah, but if it's a small company, it's not going to be that successful.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Really, if you want attention, give it away free. For one day, our game is completely free. Everybody can play it.
They do that all the time, yeah.
There you go.
There's like free play weekends and stuff like that a lot for nowadays for games. I could see them doing something like that. They have the Uplay stream or the Uplay terrible launcher.
Yeah.
They could use that to kind of host some sort of event on that thing, so it kind of brings attention to Uplay. It's just weird that they've been talking about how, first off, in their statement, they said that we're happy to work with E3 in the future and stuff like that. Yeah, I don't know. I'm interested to see what Ubisoft does. The fact that they were saying like we don't know what to do kind of baffled me, because I'm like, you guys could just do a stream, a live stream or whatever
on their own website.
But that tells me they plan on something big for E3 then. Something that was game changer for them, because they're going to change the way that's what I'm trying to say.
Something you can't just tell people on video.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They plan on something big. So that's why I want to see kind of what's going on with this. We'll see how it goes.
Maybe they'll hold a small event that they just have press at to help reveal.
Yeah.
And certain well-known gamers or something like that to test out whatever it is.
I'm sending out emails to everybody to kind of see what the plans are for them, and Ubisoft will get one. Hopefully, we'll hear back from them soon. Next up, Microsoft is holding a 2-day live stream that's coming this week. Nice. Now that's all stuff that was supposed to be announced at Game Developers Conference. That also got canceled. They're calling this event GameStack Live, and it'll begin on the 17th at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. They released a schedule, and there's like a lot of stuff on it that looks kind of like a normal convention-y stuff, panels on like behind the scenes on the environment at Xbox. Some of the interesting panels mentioned, the Xbox Series X and Project X Cloud, and another panel is about the new development of DirectX and the ray tracing. So that's pretty cool. We'll have to watch this because this may be a blueprint of how they do conventions in the future with the situation we're in right now.
What is the ray tracing, you know? Have you heard anything about that yet?
We've talked about it in the past, yeah. It's kind of how they do shading. It's like a new way of doing shading.
Okay.
We'll actually have to do a podcast episode about ray tracing because it's going to kind of change gaming in the future.
Really?
It's big, yeah. Yeah, it's pretty neat. But yeah, so any ideas on how big companies like these can do these virtual conventions? Any ideas off the top of your head? I know I'm spraying these on you guys because I normally, like, when I put out the notes to you guys, I normally put the red part where it's like, hey, I'm going to ask you this question. I didn't do that this time.
It's hard because you can't imagine what you haven't seen yet kind of thing. So all I can think of is just have a live stream event just on your website, or I don't know how else to get out and reach people, but you show video of what your new thing is and let people test it out.
Is there anything more creative though?
Well, you know what they could do, but it'd be hard because they would have to have like a really good company to back them up for like crashing and stuff, especially if people download. But they have their own like website or whatever set up that they're live streaming and they're like, all right, it is free to play right now for the next hour. You download it right now, you play the game or try it out and then see what you think.
Google Stadia could handle that.
So if they could do something like that, that would work fucking amazing.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. What do they do to make people excited for the NFL and stuff like that? Like big
establishment. I mean, it's been so. One thing I was kind of thinking of is there's the Rickmobile. I don't know if you guys have heard of the Rickmobile.
No.
It's this big bus that's shaped like Rick Sanchez from Rick and Morty.
Wow.
And they travel around the country, creating fairs for people to come out to. And it's just kind of fun. It looks like a carnival, but it's all Adult Swim stuff.
Yeah.
They could kind of do something like that where just the news that it's in Houston would be kind of cool.
But you can't gather people.
Well, I know. I'm just trying to think of things of like kind of, that's true. It's not digital at all.
There's nothing that you can do. I mean, the only way to reach people right now is just put your stuff out on the internet and videos or whatever.
Yeah.
If you can't bring people together, you can release new merchandise that's super cheap or free or whatever for people. But say if you try our game out, we'll mail you, this new shirt or whatever. But other than that, it's like,
I kind of like the way you're saying if you have and they have the X Cloud coming up soon, where you can just instantly say like, all right, guys, and it's alive now for the next 2 days, like you were saying, like a day or whatever.
Yeah.
That kind of combination of getting people, because again, it's one of the things we were going to be advertising is what it's like to be on the floor when you're at the convention and you're watching them announce, for example, Overwatch 2.
Yeah.
It's cool to see the Overwatch 2 announcement, but when you're at the convention, you go play Overwatch 2. That's something that's insanely fun. So it's a shame that part's missing.
Yeah,
if they could do it with a Stadia.
You have to build that electricity, that energy that gets people all pumped up where they're excited. But one thing that does that every year is Black Friday. So if you do something like how Amazon does a pretty good job with their Black Friday deals, because it's like, like you're saying right now, okay, if you have 2 hours, whatever, this thing's on sale, it's going to sell out within 10 minutes. So hurry up and buy it. So if they did something like that, where it's like, hey, all Xbox products on our site, we're going to have a huge sale, tell everybody weeks in advance. And okay, bam, today is the day. You go on there, you enter to win, the new Xbox systems, have raffles or whatever, certain amount of people, just a lot of stuff to get everybody pumped up about it.
What would be cool is if they said like, okay, here's a code, the first, whatever amount of people put this into their Xbox thing, get another year of Xbox Live for free. Stuff like that.
Cheap that's easy
like little giveaways that are digital giveaways. Like you all get a new gun in Call of Duty.
Yeah, and
that'd be kind of cool.
And when you're the one that doesn't get it, it automatically uploads. Well, here's our other stuff we offer. So you're already on their site. You have their
so
advertisements.
If you're looking at like, I like that idea. So if they're giving away free DLCs, and then like if you watch the live stream later, like a regular recording, then you go there, they're like, I didn't get it for free, but it is 70% off.
Yeah.
So you could still sell it, and then it creates hype. That's a cool idea too.
Yeah. And there should be something like how World of Warcraft does it once in a while, that everybody gets this little pet or whatever for free because you went to this thing or whatever.
Yeah, for the anniversaries and stuff like that. Yeah.
It'd be cool if Xbox did that. Everybody gets
for the events,
costume for their little character on the Xbox.
The avatar.
Avatar. There you go. Something like that. Something free that everybody can use.
Yeah. And we'll see what happens. Again, we're in a whole new world now where it's not just coronavirus, but the conventions in general are evolving. So we'll see what this is like and kind of see what hammers out. The directs are becoming very popular now. But there is something missing there that a lot of people don't know, and it's when you actually go to the convention, how fun that is.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. We'll have to.
Do you think we'll ever have like micro conventions where individual, like if they're still around, comic book shops or small, podcast groups, something like that, host and like maybe 80 people or 100 people go to a bunch of small places where
we
it's
had
televised?
We had one in the town nearby that was that way, and it was like in a small little room.
But I mean, when E3 is being aired and it's only going to be on TV,
I see.
Or when Microsoft is going to have their
That's
big
actually
announcements,
a really good idea.
that kind of thing.
That's a good idea. Actually, I have
It's
an
like-
idea for that.
It's like when you go to a local bar to watch the fight or a football game or something like that.
And they'll have
It's-
dang.
Well, that place.
That's what GameStops can do. We keep talking about GameStop every
there
time.
you go. Keep them open somehow.
Well, you got that gaming place over here in Oak Grove.
Gamers World. I got that. I
Yeah.
know. I got to call him up. I was supposed to be talking to him, but anyways,
Because that would be perfect.
All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next bit of news here. We have a new Witcher. So these are all video game news until towards the end. New Witcher game is in development soon. Adam Kinski, I can't say his name, of CD Projekt announced that they're going to be beginning work on a new Witcher game as soon as Cyberpunk 2077 releases in September. He emphasized that the new game will not be Witcher 4, but a completely new game in the Witcher world. And he says that this is going to be done by basically the third team. So the first two teams, one of them's going to be working on network mode, something that they're working on the side, and Cyberpunk 2077 DLCs. That's team 1 and team 2. Team 3 is going to be working on this. So it's kind of like the rookies and stuff like that. When you guys think about a new Witcher game, what would you want to see of I'm thinking of like a Witcher MMO would be really cool. Is there anything in the Witcher universe you'd want to play outside of an actual Witcher game?
Honestly, I like that MMO thing. That would be awesome.
That's kind of an easy one.
But it would be kind of hard to do, especially in the game.
What about you?
A VR Witcher? I don't know.
Shit, that's not bad. Well, they have VR Skyrim. That's not a bad idea.
Yeah, but
we're gonna put Witcher in first person.
What would be okay, so it would pretty much be about The Witcher, but...
Well, it could be. I mean, what if you're Yennefer the whole time or something like that, or somebody else? Because it's not Witcher 4. They emphasize that. It will be in the world, but not Witcher 4.
Oh, okay.
So there's a good chance it's not going to follow, our same crew, but it might be a whole new character.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm putting my money on MMO.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. Oh, you know what I bet it might be? Is like a over the top, or not over the top, like Diablo style game.
Oh.
Those are kind of easier to publish.
Different, yeah. Totally.
Baldur's Gate's getting big right now. Everybody's talking about that. See something like that. Okay. All right. Well, that's going on with Witcher there. Overwatch Archives is live now. So you guys can go play Overwatch Archives. It's an annual event that they do. It's going to be running from March 12th to April 2nd. They started this early. People are saying they started early because everybody's staying home right now because of Corona, which is pretty cool if that's the reason that they did that, so that people have something to do. This will give people co-op campaigns that you guys can go through and kind of fill in the backstory of some of your heroes. And we have new skins you can unlock, new emotes, and other customizations. If you win 9 games each week, so they've done this with the other ones in the past, like the Chinese New Year and stuff like that, you're gonna unlock free skins. The first one is Holy Symmetra, which is like Symmetra with like a bunch of colors on her. It's part of I don't remember what religion it is, but anyways. And then there's Rust-clad Torbjorn. He looks amazing. And then Bear May. So you guys got to check that out.
Bear May.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I got to get on some Overwatch. It's been a second since I played because of Sea of Thieves. You get so distracted.
Yeah.
And that's like me and Scott played a match of... Of course, we didn't finish it because you don't finish them for 2 weeks. But we played a match of Civilization 6. And so we started it at like 9 o'clock. Like, all right, we'll play this. And I'm kind of like... I'm also doing notes on the side too and stuff like that. I didn't realize what time it was, like 3 o'clock. I'm like, oh my God, I've been at this computer for so long and we haven't gotten shit done. I haven't attacked another continent or any, just expanded. He was at war with Korea 3 times already. So it's been pretty nuts. You got to play Civ 6, dude. It's such a good game. I think Jonathan would really like it. In other Overwatch news, unfortunately, the esports are all delayed. Well, they're not, they're actually canceled. They're going to be going with live streams for now. The next one that we were actually going to be covering is the San Francisco Shock homestand was going to be March 28th. That unfortunately has been canceled. But you guys can check them out online. They have partnered up with YouTube. Remember, they moved over from Twitch. Yeah. So you guys watch that, support your local team. It's the best thing you can do.
You know who else canceled? League of Legends.
Did they?
Yeah.
It's so sad. It's totally a good idea. Don't get us wrong, because I've heard some backlash on Twitter. They're like, oh, unfortunate. No. But, it's sad, but it's best.
Well, I feel like they could still do their esports. It's esports, honestly. All you need is your team,
and
a ref,
no crowd
behind you, making sure you're not cheating. That's
but
it.
at that point, I mean, you might as well just have it at home then.
Yeah,
You know what
I
I'm
mean,
saying?
that's what I'm saying. Like, you can still do it.
Well, a lot of so you're saying that League of Legends straight up canceled it?
Yeah, they canceled it for right now for a certain amount of months. I'm not sure how long. Because I was actually going to watch the Europe LCS.
Yeah.
I already forgot what it is. Yeah, I was going to watch that yesterday, and then they came out with a message saying that we pretty much.
Yeah, I agree. That kind of stuff where like you shouldn't have a crowd come. Let it not be open to the public, but we have to go to work still. Like, you know, they're not letting us off the hook like that. So like these people, you know, they need to play their esports. That's their career. Like, go in, have somebody clean the environment. Like, we're sitting here right now, we're not contaminating each other. Make sure everything's clean. We take care of ourselves.
Don't touch me.
And then the thing is, like, okay, you could test every player right now. Just be like, all right, you guys gotta stay here. Can't really leave.
That's not that easy though. You can't test anybody. You have to have like all the symptoms before you can get tested.
I thought you could test it before they had symptoms.
No, there's so little test kits and so many people infected right now that they're not allowing you. You go to the doctor and you have just one symptom.
Anyways, they still have clean rooms.
Yeah,
that you can make a clean room.
Yeah,
and then just start it.
I think the main thing is if they're in the same building, then you can be on one network. You guys control the servers and stuff like that, so you can make sure that they all have fair speed and all that same stuff. That's all you need. If you have a glass wall between everybody, that's fine.
Well, and the qualifiers are done at home. There's no reason not to do it at home, to be honest with you. And all the qualifiers are done that way.
All esports people, I believe, they live in the same house. So,
yeah, usually they all move into the same
like
house.
League of Legends, they have like their Cloud9 TSM house.
Oh god, the Method House. Every time I'm always watching, like whenever Method does their Method House, I'm like, oh god, I want to be there.
So esports, I mean, it's good on them that they canceled it, but they really didn't have to. All they had to do is make a clean room.
Yeah.
And then actually just do it and just make sure there's.
Well, you know, but on the other side of that, just to kind of just quickly wrap this up, but not too much. But I think they might be wanting to like actually create that event just because it's so much ticket sales. I mean, when you go, those things are not cheap to go to.
That's true.
And then when you're there, John hasn't been to a live event for esports yet, but it is electric in that room, man.
Yeah.
No, for like League of Legends, because I've been to 2. It's not that many cheers. It's probably only holds up to like 50 people for League.
Wow, really?
Yeah. For like League, it's not that many people that go.
Crazy.
So it's not.
How much do you pay to get in there?
Shoot, it was $15 for a ticket.
That is very expensive.
What I'm saying. So it's like,
it's cheap.
so it's technically, it's like, they're not making the money from that. You actually get a lot of views on Twitch because you get 200,000 views on Twitch. Yeah. So it's, technically,
that's true.
They didn't even need the live stream. Like, well, they live stream it, but you don't need to be
live
there.
Audience,
yeah, you don't need that. You could still play. It's not like the crowd's gonna be like in an NFL or like wrestling, like
10,000 people or something.
They're like, getting hyped.
Yeah.
It's not like that in League of Legends. Like sometimes you'll be like, woo, like that's it.
Well. Okay.
So like the crowd, the audience is a lot different in esports.
I know. Well,
unless it's Overwatch.
Okay, I'm gonna say because Overwatch is fire, man.
Like
when you're there live, when you're watching Overwatch, like World Cup, when we watch it over there, I'm like, you're at the edge of your seat.
Yeah,
everything's so explosive.
But watch like.
And I'm that way for arenas too, but
smaller
maybe
groups.
I'll give you StarCraft. StarCraft kind of feels like it's kind of slow, and then all of a sudden, like, oh, that was neat, and then it kind of stops for a while. People just watch it.
Have you watched like San Jose Overwatch team? Like, it's not. They're not gonna cheer like they cheered in USA. Team USA.
Yeah.
It's totally different atmosphere.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
Spitfire was pretty cool. You know but I'll give you that. All right.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes. Everybody play it safe. Okay, so NFL and 2K are finally teaming up again. Such good news because I love 2K NFL. Okay, so they used to make games from 99 to 2004 called NFL 2K, whatever, 02 and stuff. Little is known about this new game except for the fact that it will not be a simulation football game experience. So you're not going to play a game of football, which is kind of weird, right? So Joe Ruggiero, Senior VP of Consumer Products over at the NFL, stated, expanding the NFL's presence in the world of gaming has become a focus for the league. As we look to grow for the next generation of our fan base, and reviving our partnership with 2K was a natural step in that effort. 2K is a worldwide leader in sports, video games, of course they are, with a proven track record of creating best-in-class and award-winning games. And we look forward to sharing more about the project we are working on with them in the future. So what kind of game can we see from them? My biggest hope is that we get a football manager. So football manager, I'm talking a little fast. Football manager is it's a soccer for us, right? Soccer game where you're actually playing as the one running the team, and then you just like simulate matches. You don't actually have to play the match. So it's more about managing finances and stuff like that, which I know Madden has, but it's not focused on it.
That seems boring though. That doesn't seem like I don't know how you have a football game if you're not playing football.
There are big fans. So like for Kyle Explains, I was on his YouTube channel a few months back. He's a friend of the podcast. He does Football Manager, and there's like he has his own podcast about that now. They just started it up kind of recently, so you guys check that out. And it's a whole like league of fun. There's some major fans. I think maybe they saw that and they're like, let's try to mimic that with NFL. I would definitely play it. So, I think I actually want to play that more than Madden myself. So
you manage the team, like the team's finances, and you call plays while they're
draft, and you're every there's so much to go with running any team.
It just seems like baking the cake without getting to eat it. That's all the bad, none of the good.
I don't know. Okay, so I'm gonna give you this. So I one time I don't like NASCAR myself, but I did buy a NASCAR video game because it was dirt cheap. It's like, let me try it out. I was in the mood for a racing game. I loved that game, and it wasn't because of because the racing in a NASCAR game is whatever. It was because you had to manage all the sponsors.
Really?
Yeah, and it was freaking fun, man. You had to manage the car. Like, okay, is it worth upgrading this part right now? Because, we don't have that much income coming in. I have to reach this X amount. I think you could, like, auto-run the car. I want to say I did that. Maybe not, but maybe it just felt like that because you just turned left.
That Delivery Simulator is doing really good right now. What's that game called?
I don't know. We gave it 100%. It was pretty nuts.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
Death Stranding. We're talking Death Stranding.
Oh, yeah.
By the way, that's coming to PC. You weren't here last week.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Yeah, I do. I'm actually going to buy it.
You are? I told him. I said, Dan's going to buy that game over again.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to buy it too.
Maybe I'll play it.
Especially because it comes with that valve on the back of his head. Did you see that?
No.
So the valve that's on the back of like Steam's that can come on the back of Norman Reedus' head.
Whoa.
You should see all the little perks you're going to get. They're pretty neat little things.
Got to buy it.
Any other ideas? They might be like an NFL game that's not about football.
Oh, the manager's the one that I was telling you to.
Yeah.
Could have an NFL game where like it'd be like a super cheesy movie, but like the city's attacked by aliens or something stupid like that. Some kind of bad guys, and the NFL guys are out on the street and they have to defend the city.
John,
so
get out of here! Get out of here!
Totally see
They're weak to pigskins.
It's like
get out of here!
An old arcade game kind of thing.
Oh man, it reminds me so much of like the '80s cartoons that were like Transformers represented or brought to you by Hershey, and then like there's like we got to beat them with Hershey bars, that kind of thing. I can see something like that. I wouldn't mind seeing like NFL Street come back, which was where it was like they had. I remember NBA Street a lot.
Yeah, but then you're still playing it. Then.
I know, but it's kind of different.
I don't know how you play. How do you play a sport without playing the sport?
That's why
it just doesn't make sense.
It's gonna be a manager. That's
it'll probably be the manager. Which if it is, I'm excited for that. That'll actually be fun for myself.
I don't know if I'll still get it though.
You can watch me. I'll stream it and you can just watch me play.
I'll buy it.
It won't be $30. It'll be $60.
Yeah,
but that came from Hollywood Reporter. I need to start saying our sources again. I forgot. I keep forgetting to do that now. Next up, Activision Blizzard has a new president and COO. Google executive Daniel Allegra. We'll go with that. Allegra has been named CEO and president of Activision Blizzard starting April 7th. Allegra has been with Google for 16 years and most recently was president of global retail and shopping. So we were talking about that. And I kept thinking it was like, oh, he's selling all the devices. And you're like, no, he's doing the shopping. So it's got to be when you Google something and then you can just press shopping.
Yeah.
Which I've actually used them for that in the past. Current president and CEO Cody Johnson will stay with the company as a special advisor to CEO Bob Kotick. So what do you think about Google getting involved with Activision Blizzard?
I'm okay with it, but I'm afraid because he dealt with more of the shopping. So are you getting more loot boxes? Are you trying to create a new thing to get more money? Or are you trying to go into a like make your own like BattleNet, like, but they have
so you're thinking they might want to take the Battle.net launcher and expand it into Steam.
Yeah, their own thing. Yeah. Not with Blizzard, but their own Activision stuff.
Well, Activision Blizzard.
Oh, that's true.
He's the company. He's the president of both.
That's true.
It's one company now.
That's why it's like, why would you hire him? There's so many other people.
So here's what I was thinking about. They just made a deal with Google for YouTube, right? Because Google owns YouTube. So they were on Twitch only. Now they're on YouTube. And there's this whole thing about them like dropping, the NVIDIA streamer They're not on the NVIDIA streamer anymore now. They're kind of moving over Stadia.
They're building in their own Twitch themselves.
Well, no, not that. I'm just saying that Activision Blizzard is working with Google more and more. They're also using Google's servers now to speed up the esports response time. Yeah. To kind of reduce latency. So there's something behind the scenes that we're not seeing, where Google and Activision Blizzard are working together like a lot. This move of the CEO might be because that's the guy that they've been working with a lot. And so they're like, oh, hey, we like you. Can you work with us now? That could be it. That's almost like the innocent version of it. I don't know. What else could there be?
Yeah,
it's kind of crazy,
that's
right?
What we don't know.
Yeah.
I just find it odd that there's so many links between these two companies right now. Yeah. I mean, right now. Yeah. It's nuts.
Well, it's they have a partnership, right? I mean, they're probably building towards something, a certain goal.
I want to see what they're building towards.
Yeah,
is this? I mean, could we see?
It would make sense because that they try to make their own version of Twitch out of YouTube or as a branch of YouTube, like YouTube does music now, right? Isn't that what YouTube?
But there's YouTube gaming now too. It's all just YouTube, but you can basically narrow it down.
Well, I got a question. I recall, what was it, Activision or was it? Because I know they're Activision Blizzard. What company let go of multiple people and then they got hire? Wasn't it Activision or is it Blizzard that let go?
I know they let go of, they laid off people a couple.
Yeah, they got off like a bunch of people and then they got hired some guy from Google that does shopping.
Hold on, that doesn't mean anything. That's a whole different. That's the CEO. That's a whole different thing. That's not like he's not going to get on a computer and start designing.
Though,
it means there's going to be more loot boxes, bro.
Yeah,
it's the and as Blizzard fans, we get to bitch the whole time saying like fucking Activision. You know how we like to do. Yeah, it's going to be that. We'll see how it goes.
Or maybe it's the opposite of that. Maybe they saw that the guy they had was pushing loot boxes too much. The fans didn't like it. So they're like, you know what? We need somebody who's good at this. This guy's been selling stuff without causing any drama. So maybe we need somebody that comes in and finds a different way to sell to the gamers without pushing loot boxes that they don't want.
Somebody to put a new strategy on it?
Yeah.
I'm going to be optimistic and like that idea.
Hopefully.
Because, I don't know. I don't think you'd hire somebody from Google let's give free stuff away.
Yeah. But find a way to get us to spend our money without it being so in our face.
Yeah. True. Yeah, that's true. Okay. Next up, this is kind of a fun short one here. There's a new Batman statue in London. Mm-hmm. They put that in there. Okay. So DC Comics, they're the ones that put it together, has revealed a new statue of Batman in Leicester Square in London. We have a couple friends out there in the UK. If you guys could drive over there and take pictures of it, we will hella tweet that. Mm-hmm. It'd be so cool. DC posted this image on their Facebook account and referencing Batman Day celebration. So for Batman Day, what they did is they shown like the bat signal in a lot of cities, including London. So this is kind of follow up to that. The statue is very highly defined, like that. The belt all has super good details. It has like the ripples in the cape.
Is there a reason why in London they did it? Or I'm just kind of curious.
No, I don't know if it's necessarily tied to London specifically. I just think it's kind of like as appreciation.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, he's up on a building and he's like looking down on if he's watching the city. It's pretty cool.
Like
we have it on our website.
Gargoyle kind of thing, but
yeah. It looks pretty cool. Let me just pop it up real quick. I have our website up. Oh, that's a different one.
Oh, that's dope.
Oh, that might be it actually.
Yeah. That's cool. It looks like it's all metal.
That's awesome.
Yeah. That's awesome. It's
pretty dope.
Batman standing upright with his cape.
Why can't we do that here?
Because we're not cool enough, Dan.
Like clearly.
All right, so let's go ahead and we got one more thing before we got two reviews. Disney parks are closing, and part of this, so Disney parks are closing for coronavirus, right? They're closing from 14th to the 28th of March. Universal Studios, after this announcement, went ahead and followed suit, so they're going to be doing the same thing. We also have delays of theatrical releases for Mulan and New Mutants.
That sucks.
Yeah, so Mulan was March 27th, and New Mutants was going to be April 3rd. Both of those are delayed. No dates announced for those releases.
That's unfortunate, but that makes so much sense. It's not that they couldn't finish it; they don't want to release it when the theater is going to be completely empty and they're going to lose all their.
That's the same thing with Disneyland. I was one of the people I follow on TikTok. She kept putting out TikToks of her on rides empty. Yeah. She would like show the ride behind her, then nobody's on it with her. Yeah. All the wait lines for everything, including Space Mountain, was 10 minutes.
Really?
Which is like how long it takes to get to the end of Space Mountain.
There's nobody. It was awesome.
If I could sit on Space Mountain and they just run loops, I'd be so happy.
Do you think, because it's a good idea, they close down the parks. It's a great idea. But do you think that when they finally open up those parks, the tickets are going to skyrocket?
Oh, it's going to be cram-packed probably.
It'll be packed, yeah.
You don't think they'll bump up the prices for the tickets?
I don't know.
No, I don't think so.
I know Squeaks changed his Squeaks is going to go, but now he's changed his plans. So there's probably a lot of people that are pushing it back for the summer. Yeah. They'll probably stack up. You're probably right.
And there's going to be a lot of people that are still iffy, still hesitant to go places, still afraid that there's some virus out there.
How well do they clean it? And shit like that, yeah.
So it'll probably still be kind of. Some people won't go, but I think more people will go that wanted to or didn't, or because now it's available.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll jack up the prices because that would be majorly bad PR for them.
Yeah.
People would.
I was thinking, what would have been like amazing PR for them? Mm. They had Disney Plus. Why don't they put Mulan and New Mutants out on Disney Plus today?
Dang, that's smart.
Everybody's at home right now, stuck at home.
It would totally push their.
Everybody would go out and re-sub to Disney Plus because a lot of people canceled it after The Mandalorian. Everybody would re-sub, and you would look like badasses if your brand new movies were at home.
As long as you don't have a free trial option, because people will just get the free trial.
They do. 7-day free trial. But if they have a thing where, like, if you had it in the past, because everybody probably had it with Mandalorian, right?
Yeah.
If you had it in the past, you can't do the free trial again. That might save you.
Or even just getting people to download the free trial would get them in the door.
And it would just be nice. It would be, I know, it's not Disney's thing.
Yeah.
But it would be straight up nice.
Yeah. I wonder if you could ever get subscription sales to compete with movie ticket sales, though.
I mean, Netflix is putting out money on movies like a theatrical company would.
That's true. And
Irishman and stuff like that.
They make really good movies, too.
Dolomite Is My Name was very, very good movie.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I wish hopefully they pushed it back indefinitely, right? So maybe they will do that
indefinitely. Well, and what's funny is like New Mutants, I predict will not do well in theaters.
Yeah,
it's like just throw that shit out there. You're gonna make more money on. I think you'd make more money on Disney Plus than you would in anyways.
Yeah, so it's younger kids that would probably like it anyways.
Well, it got delayed.
Teenagers, and
like 3 years and shit. So it's one of those things.
Yeah.
I just think that would be really good.
It doesn't look good, but I think I still want to watch it anyways. New Mutants.
Oh, I'm definitely watching it. We got to do a review for it. Yeah. I found myself. There are so many games I probably wouldn't play or something like that if it wasn't for the fact that somebody's got to do a review for it, and Daniel's busy with this review and you're busy with that review. I guess I'm doing this now, so I find myself doing that a lot.
Nice.
Like maybe I would wait to see Sonic a week or two, and I was like, day one, I'm in the theater watching Sonic because I got to do a review. Which is good. It's good. Okay, so we got 2 reviews coming up. First one's gonna be Call of Duty Warzone. Tell us about Call of Duty Warzone, Daniel. What is it and how is it?
All right. Call of Duty Warzone is a battle royale that was released. You don't need to own Call of Duty Modern Warfare to play it.
Completely free.
Completely free if you own the Xbox Live. Correct.
No, it's free without Xbox Live.
Oh, really? I thought
I played it on regular Blizzard launcher. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I didn't know that. Because I own Modern Warfare and I was reading information on it and people were saying that you had to have Xbox Live to have it. So
maybe to play on the Xbox. I was playing on the PC. And I know for PlayStation it's free too. And I think that was the problem is Xbox is the only one that's making you do Xbox Live.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure about that. But I own Modern Warfare. So I kind of... Yeah, it's pretty easy. But pretty much it's a battle royale mixed with Modern Warfare. If you played Modern Warfare, this current one that came out, there's a giant map. Every battle royale that
big map.
Yeah, every battle royale that comes out is usually a big map, one big giant map. But the reason it's so big, it has 150 people per match.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's cool. So you're not like out in the middle of somewhere, no one's around you.
Oh no, it's always like. It's always popping off.
That's
it's insane. And you go 3-man squads.
Oh, okay.
There are pairs and solos alone.
Yeah, you could do solo or duo, but it's best to have a 3-man squad. Mm-hmm. And the thing about this battle royale, it was nice to see because Activision wasn't afraid to change the game of the battle royale. Usually it's the same thing. You just like drop in, you just find loot boxes or whatever and just cash them out. But in this game, they added cash in the game. So you'll be walking around finding cash, actual money.
Right.
And with the money, you could buy kill streaks from Call of Duty in game. So you could buy UAV, Predator missile, a revive, a self revive if you get knocked. And you could buy your loadout from Call of Duty. When you're playing games, you have your own like kit. It'll just change you straight to that loadout. So they added that. There's missions to get cash also. So you're doing like kill streak, or you're hunting for a certain person, or you're also getting these checkpoints and collecting them to get more money. With the money, you could also revive your teammates. And one big thing that they added in the game, I don't know if you've played Apex. If you die, they can pick up your banner.
That's a huge difference.
Yeah. You can pick up their banner within the time limit and just revive them. Take them to a certain point and revive them. Well, in Call of Duty, they have a second chance. So when you die, you go to a prison called Gulag.
The Gulag
prison, and all of a sudden you're locked up. Then they release you out, and then you're just standing in this little arena jail thing, whatever
courtyard.
And then down there you see it's a one-on-one kill battle. So they'll give you a random gun, and you have to face the other person. If you kill the other person, you go back into the game.
Oh, cool.
So it's like a second. So
the
chance.
150 is kind of not accurate. It's almost like like maybe 225 because people are coming back the whole time.
Yeah. It's honestly, it was a good idea on them. Like, you don't ever see companies trying new things like this, and Activision actually tried that, and it's working out. I do think they need to tweak the cash stuff, because you get cash way too easy. I don't want to see a UAV in a battle royale when you're trying to sneak around, especially like if the game's supposed to be like strategic kind of, and like you should be able to like sneak, go to a certain point, and then all of a sudden a UAV is gonna spot you. I don't think they should have that. I'm cool with the Predator missiles. I'm cool with everything else, but just not.
What if you could buy like a more stealth, like a cloaking package or something like that?
Yeah, some sort of cloaking device,
or just a new.
I haven't gone that far. I've been playing, but I haven't gone.
But I mean, for you, since you're saying you don't want these guys to be able to spot you, do you think just adding something like that instead of taking away from other people?
But it's a battle royale. You shouldn't have a thing like that in a battle royale. I honestly think it's just too much, and it's gonna make the game. It's gonna make it so that you need two other good players with you, so you could actually like, I'm getting a UAV, you get this, you get that every time. Because if you're not with your own squad, you're never gonna win. That's towards the end. Later on, when people get better and they're gonna figure out strategies, it's gonna make it really difficult for people.
You don't want any single tool to be overpowered versus everything else.
So let me ask you something. Early on, you were saying, "Oh, there's just too much shit in this game." Do you still feel that way? Or have you just gotten used to everything in the game?
I already got used to it, but it still bugs me, the UAV thing. That's with the game. It's amazing. I love it. Like, probably one of the better fucking battle royales I've played.
We'll get a great familiar here in just a sec too. Okay, next question for you. Although our camera's not working, but anyways. Next question for you. Did you notice? Now you're a Modern Warfare player as well, right? You played that. Okay. Have you noticed that there are regular Modern Warfare maps put into this battlefield yet?
I haven't noticed. Oh yeah, no, I noticed the quarry. That's it.
Because all the like the favorite maps from Call of Duty history are like put into the battlefield. So you're like, oh wait a minute, I recognize the spot, and it's
that's cool.
In the
then you know where some stuff's hidden, or good sniping spots and stuff.
The game feels like you're playing Modern Warfare, but just battle royale. Like it's pretty awesome. One thing that's nice is they reworked some of the guns, so there's more ricochet and all that. Bullet drops better.
Modern Warfare won for sound design in the Game Awards last year. Yeah, that shows. I mean, that's the battle royale you're playing now, with that same sound design. And
then, like, when you're using a machine gun and you're just lighting somebody up, all of a sudden you see smoke coming out of your barrel because you just unloaded a whole clip. It's pretty awesome. Like they did a great job on it. They just need to retweak some stuff, because I feel like right now they couldn't even. I wouldn't want to do an esports on that game, that battlefield.
Just it's still too messy.
It's too messy, especially with the kill streaks. That's what I feel. Okay. But honestly, everybody should try it. It's free to play. Yeah. It's so much fun.
Completely free. Okay, so last little bit, visuals. Does everything look pretty sharp? Because I know for me, it looked like it's a little bit blurry than the regular game.
Everything's pretty sharp.
Do you think it's to the standards of the other Call of Duty game or no?
Yeah, definitely. Oh, I think it surpasses the battle royale of Black Ops 4. Like they did a phenomenal job on this game. Like it was amazing.
Okay. Grade it for us. Give us a grade. Don't be crazy.
Out of 100, right?
No,
A,
just
B,
grade,
C,
grade.
D.
A, B, C, D.
Or F.
Oh,
minus plus.
grade.
Where we're swap. Oh yeah, you weren't here last week.
I'll give it a good B.
Solid B.
Nice.
Okay. All right.
Not A plus.
I was afraid. I was afraid for all these A++ extra credit, staying after school kind of thing.
No, honestly, the game
After Death Stranding, you got us all a little scared.
The game is so much fun, though.
That is good.
I stayed up until 5 in the morning.
That's cool. 5 in the morning. That's pretty good. Next up, I'm going to be reviewing Ori and the Will of the Wisp. So this is the new Ori game. Are you either of you familiar with Ori games in the past? Jonathan,
Yeah.
no. Hugh, yes. Okay. So there's side-scrolling platformers. So think of like the newest modern, of like the old 85 Mario. Ori is a light creature. It's a spirit creature in the forest. And in the first game, you have like this little wisp that'd be with you, and you'd like use that to attack, and you try to find your owl friend, whatever. This big creature. This one, you're finding a little owl, and it has this ability of going very fast pace, and then as you go, it has a talent tree. So as you go, you're unlocking new ways of jumping, and new ways of dashing, new ways of moving around, and new ways of fighting, because you have that wisp. Now in this one, you actually have a light sword. It's like this blade or whatever that comes out whenever you want to swing, and you have a bow and arrow. So for an example of how things get crazy. Now remember, this is a platformer, so you're jumping around. You have the whole map to run around. You're jumping, so it's crazy. So there's situations where I'll jump, then double jump, then I can lasso to like some plants, which would reset the double jump. I can dash midair. I can, if I see say there's an enemy that shoots like bile at me, and everything's luminescent. If it's luminescent, I can stop time, hook onto this light, and then bend it in whatever direction I want. It'll shoot the light, the bile in the opposite direction of me, and I fly in the right direction. So you're doing all these like aerial combat or aerial acrobatics, trying to get around, and it makes for this game that's just like at the edge of your seat, fast. And one of the things that I love about video games is moments where you feel like a badass. This game does that in spades, because there's times where you pull off these cool moves. Where you're like, man, I just did like cool 5 moves right there to get to this one platform. Platformers tend to Cuphead's a perfect example of this, or Celeste. Platformers have a tendency to become very frustrating, to where like I just can't make this one ledge. I can't get past this one guy. This game has that, of course, because it is a platformer. Yeah. But it has just enough to keep me wanting more. You know what I'm saying? Like right when it's just about too frustrating is when I'm like, got it. Thank goodness. Okay, keep moving. And it has a lot of, and again, this is something that a lot of other games don't do. Celeste is a great example, because Celeste, I would argue, is maybe the best platformer ever. Now it's not, because of this one. That shows my grade. So Celeste is great, but there's at a certain point where every time you walk through a new room, it's frustration. Just a huge challenge that will take forever to try to get past. Just die and repeat. This game has these like big middle spaces where you're just running around, fucking around, being amazing. Yeah. And so you kind of feel like free, amazing, and then you get to the spot where like, okay, this part's a challenge.
Yeah, clears your palate, lets you have a little bit of fun before you get stressed again.
Good way to put it, clears your palate. And it has this Metroidvania kind of feel, where you know how you're like, oh, I got a new ability, let me go back and try this new ability here, and I can get to a new spot that I didn't know about. Classic, old school thing, in that process, you're going back, and you're running through places you've already been, but then you realize, like, I didn't even realize that there's this little blue thing floating in the sky that I can now lasso to. So, like, I do need to go get this because there's, like, a little quest thing for it or whatever. So I know I'm going to have to go back, but now I'm realizing, like, man, I'm moving faster. I can do all kinds of cool stuff. Like, oh, I got this little bonus thing I didn't know I needed. The storyline is, it's pretty basic. It's the same kind of thing you'd expect from the first game. You're trying to save your owl friend that got lost in a storm with you. But the way it unfolds the story is, I'm 5 hours in so far. So you're kind of going in like these little like monkey creatures that are trying to help you out. And then you're everything's kind of native, like everything's kind of naturally unfolding in front of you. It's not like quest point to quest point to quest point. It's just like you're going along, and they do a really good job of like, you'll be exploring a new zone, and you're like, there's something happening. There's a spot I don't have on the map unlocked. So I know I'm supposed to go to this direction at some point. So I'm going here, and I feel like I'm kind of just like, if I can go a little bit further, I barely reach this one spot. Oh, there's a new tree here. Trees unlock abilities. I unlock an ability, and I'm like, oh, that's what I needed to get over here. I didn't realize that before. So it has that way of kind of unfolding the story in front of you. The mapping system's very good. Okay, so the changes from the first game. You have a sword now, which has become like your main weapon, and it plays so well. They do an excellent job with the sword. And then you have the bow and arrow. A lot of times you use the bow and arrow to activate something. So you'll be jumping midair, doing a couple dashes, whatever you're midair, bow and arrow, and then you got to activate it, and you can like lasso over to it real fast. So there's a lot of like chaining abilities. So the bow and arrow is a lot less about attacking things and much more about activating things from afar. That's what the bow and arrow has become.
You said you could lasso to your arrow?
No, you can lasso. So like maybe you'll shoot the arrow to like extend a bridge out, and then touch the bridge and be able to jump off or something like that. Like it'll buy you a second. It's always about buying you a second.
Yeah.
Again, like Celeste is a very good example of a platformer that does that.
Is there cutscenes or?
There are some cutscenes in the beginning. Again, with the first game, the beginning has almost too many cutscenes. That is a good point. I mean, it's gorgeous. This game's beauty is unmatched.
Yeah, I've seen
crazy.
It looks beautiful.
Yeah, because it's all in a forest. You're at like the base of a forest, and there's like times where you're like
an avatar, like that.
Like when they're in the avatar area. Yeah, when they're actually in the avatar zone, whatever it's called, realm
on their planet.
Yeah. And you don't really get an idea of your scale until all of a sudden you're fighting a wolf and you're like, oh shit, I'm the size of the wolf's paw. Like you're really actually pretty small. And it has that parallaxing thing that we all take advantage of now, but it's so cool when you see in the background these like beautiful. You see in the background there's like this beautiful cog moving or something like that, and it's just you stop and you're like, man, that's just neat. I love games that do that. Very few games make me turn off a podcast. This one has. I'm actually listening to the in-game music. That's very rare for me. And it's overall stunning, and it has this fast-paced movement. I'd have to say it's my favorite platformer. Before that, it was a tie between Celeste and Rayman Legends. It has a lot of that Rayman Legends visuals, the way the background moves, but I think it's probably the best now. It's got to be the best. I'm going to give it A-. The reason the minus is because the new talent tree I don't care for. You still feel rewarded for gaining more, progression. But the old talent tree, there's just, I don't know why games do this. Try to help me out on this. World of Warcraft is famous for this. Why do they have to get rid of the old talent tree? Yes, you have only one route you really go. It just feels way better unlocking it though.
Yeah, it does.
So yeah, they had an old school talent tree in the old one, and this new one doesn't have a talent tree at all. It's more like you just swap out what abilities you want. It kind of went from like old World of Warcraft into Diablo.
Made it simple for everybody.
So it's not as cool. But amazing game, A-. Totally support it. I'll be because again we're gonna be kind of hanging out at the houses a lot. I'll be streaming that and a couple other games more lately. Will you guys be streaming any games? I don't know. I don't really stream, huh?
And I'm gonna be moving soon, so I probably won't be on my computer for a while.
Maybe probably not because I like to rage a lot.
I know, but those are fun to watch.
Yeah.
So I might set you up with on our stream would be good.
I might. Okay, if once Resident Evil 3 remake comes out, I might stream that.
Okay. All right, there you go. We have him streaming too. So we'll try to stream more often so that because we're all gonna be kind of hanging out right now. Everything's paused, so we'll be doing that. Anything we guys want to get up before we head out for the day? I think that's it. We got a lot done.
All right, that's pretty much it.
All right, guys. We'll see you guys next week. Bye.
See you.
Thank you for joining us on the Geek Freaks podcast. You can find us on Twitter at Geek Freaks Pod. We're also on Facebook, Instagram. You can email us. We have our Patreon and a store. All those links are in the description. Thank you so much for joining us.